All right, it's January 5th. I was in the hospital till January 1st, so I watched some fireworks from my window. The hospital I was in is like a hotel room without carpet. And everybody was wonderful. I was quarantined to my room because my white blood cells are low and they had a lot of COVID cases, even on the floor I was on. I am feeling better than I have since the first chemo. And I can't say that I feel good. Yeah, the horrible feelings that come with chemo, my body has really taken care of those. And I'm doing some things to detox, very gentle, to cleanse. And with Dr. Renee, he has an ionic foot bath. I think it's called an ionic foot bath that I'm going to do next time I'm in. And he said after 2 foot baths, he can kind of see how much chemo is left in somebody's body. Sorry about the lighting. So that's next week, next 2 weeks. I'll be driving to Sarasota, getting my treatment and doing the foot baths. And in between, I'll keep doing what I've been doing. So I'm using fulvic acid as a foot bath and also doing topical magnesium. And for the neuropathy, I'm taking glutamine and B12, not B12, B-complex 50. And that was recommended by my oncology clinic. They actually recommend a basic multivitamin, fish oil, B-complex 50, and L-glutamine. And L-glutamine should be 10 grams 3 times a day. The other things are taken just once. I didn't take the fish oil, mostly because my liver and gallbladder are kind of overburdened, and that's part of why I got to where I am. And so I'm just keeping my fat intake low, and I don't think I would digest the fish oil, to be honest. The L-glutamine with the B-complex works really well for the neuropathy. And on the last round, before I did the last round of chemo, I talked to Dr. Renee and I said this last time I had mouth sores, as my mouth has always felt weird after chemo. I said this last time I had mouth sores, and he said, you know that sometimes vitamins can cause that. And he said, so just maybe experiment and see if you can see if those vitamins are a contributing factor to the mouth sore. So what I did was I just waited as long as possible after I received the chemo to take any of those vitamins and L-glutamine for the neuropathy, and I didn't develop any mouth sores. And when I did start taking the B-complex and the glutamine, I just took it once a day, the glutamine, and then I built back up to like 2 times a day. And right now I'm taking it twice a day, and the neuropathy is slowly improving. This is Florida in winter. We get a lot of overcast days. Right now it's not that cold. Today it's like 62. And for somebody with a bald head, that's really cold for this bald noggin. So I have this beautiful hat that my friend sent me. It's so soft. Thank you, Tina. We do get cold days, if you're wondering, if you're somewhere else where it stays cold all the time. We get cold fronts. So when you get snow, we get cold fronts, and the temperature can go from like being 70 one day to 40 or even 30 the next. Typically, though, it stays in the 50s or close to it. And we haven't really hit the cold part yet. And we'll have lots of sunny days. Anyway, thank you. Well, I'm at the clinic. I'm about to go in and get my PET scan results. There's no like factual reason to think that they won't be clear. And also I've seen plenty of people say that they were showing improvement or whatever, and then they got their PET scan results later or their CT scan, and it just wasn't as good as they'd hoped. And so even though I want to have like this great outlook, like it's all going to be gone, I still have the concerns, like maybe my other PET scan was off for some reason or whatever. And I was supposed to get my PET scan results last Thursday, but I had a fever, I went in the hospital, and just as precautionary more than anything, and thank goodness nothing was wrong, but with low white blood cells, it can just turn bad really quickly. So I just stayed in the hospital. and I rescheduled for this week. So I'll be out in a little while and I'll let you know what happens. Okay, good news, PET scan is clear. Not good news, but also not terrible, but risky. My white blood cells are crazy low. General WBCs are 1 on a CBC. They're supposed to be like 4.5-ish. And last Monday they were like 4.7, but I was also getting sick, and so I think that's what that was. Like all my blood cells are low, red blood cells included, but red blood cells are close to the normal range. They're just lower than they've been the whole time. They have stayed within normal range the whole time, and now they're low. So anyway, I asked him about that, and he said, I'm not too worried about the red blood cells, but I'm worried about the white blood cells. So if my insurance will cover it, I'll come in for Neupogen, and next week get another CBC and take an antibiotic as a prophylaxis to make sure I don't get sick, and follow neutropenic guidelines, which is like don't garden, don't eat raw food, don't go out in large crowds. And so I'm on lockdown. Thank you for watching. I love you. May your life be wonderful.